What's up, YouTube? How are you guys and girls doing today? As quite evidently, I'm out on my Fat Bob again. Got the gremlin sorted out on that Sportster that I had in other episodes. The wife agrees, the wobble's gone. I mean, she's the one that rode it around most of the time, or all the time, and it is her bike. So she was the best person to ask about the feel of the bike after the new bearings, front and rear. She's happy, so I'm happy, and you know that old saying, happy wife, happy life. Mid-afternoon again. I think it's my favorite time of day to ride. Early morning as well. I'm just not much of a morning person, and I have a few things to do in the mornings before I can spend the afternoon on the bike. I'm actually on my way to a friend now who actually also owns a Fat Bob. I'm picking up a set of grips from him which are going to go on my bike, and then my grips are going on the Sportster. The reason for that is when I got my Fat Bob originally, it had a set of Willy G grips. They had like chrome inserts, and I'm not a huge fan of chrome. So I got all of these grips that I've got on here. They are original Harley Davidson grips, but they're from a Sportster. So I got hold of them. They've been serving their purpose for some time now. I'm quite happy with them. But my wife's bike has some of those Vance, I think they're called ODI or X-Culture, or I don't know what they're called, but anyway, she's got Vance grips that look like the bottom of shoes. And while they are nice looking, if you are into that sort of finishing touch, they are tacky, especially after being in the sun during the day. So she's not a big fan of that. As I mentioned before, she's had that bike since last year August, and she got the bike with those grips, so we couldn't complain. I mean, as far as grips go, they do their purpose to function. So she's just not a huge fan of them because of the fact they're so tacky. So I'm on my way now to go get a set of spare Fat Bob grips from one of my friends, like I mentioned. So what I'm going to do is, those are stock Fat Bob grips, so they're going to go on here, and these are going to go to the Sportster. While for the time being, she should be happy with them. We are looking to change the whole color scheme of her bike. She would like to go for a black and gold type of scheme, and to achieve that, some of the accents on her bike are going to have to be brown. We are looking at wrapping the pipes like I mentioned before, and then we're going to look for decent brown grips. Now I hear you, you can't get those same Vance grips in brown that you might be happy with, but then again, then you're stuck with the same problem of it being tacky after being in the sun all day, which also picks up dirt and your gloves get stuck to it. So that's why we're not going with that. So stock Fat Bob grips on my bike, stock sporty grips on her bike. What I found in my life, and I'm not very old, so I can't exactly go around saying back in my day, but what I have found is that your aftermarket grips, first of all, you get some hideous ones. I mean, who wants to be holding on to like bare metal the whole way? I mean, you could do that, you get some of those grips. I don't like them. First of all, they're bare metal, so two problems: they're either ice cold or boiling hot, depending on where you are in the world. Second problem, they offer very little grip especially if your hands are sweating. And I do know some people ride without gloves. I do not. I always wear gloves. Gives me a better grip on things. And also, in the case of going down, what do? You block with your hand first. You're going to put a palm right on the ground. You wouldn't want that. But anyway, back to the grips. Some grips are just hideous, besides the fact that they don't feel well, or feel good. Feel well, where the hell does that come from? Either way. As you know, English isn't my native language. I may have mentioned Afrikaans in a previous episode, and that is my love getting reactions like that. I may have mentioned in a previous episode that Afrikaans is a language that probably is only spoken in South Africa, and it's a mix of Dutch all the way from Holland, mixed in with some local sounds from South Africa, maybe even borrowing some from the English dictionary. I'm just gonna pop in here at a bank teller quick, draw some cash, and then once we've done that, we're going to be on our way to my friend to pick up those grips, as I mentioned. Right, here we go. There we go, some fresh money. Just look at that. I'm sure you guys have seen some footage of my bike before. I've taken off the front mudguard. I'm a very big fan of that bobber look. It's not so nice for the winter, from the summer actually. Coming back from a rally in our summer, which was in December, we were stuck in quite a storm, and I was so glad that day I actually had my fender on. About 2 months before that, we were stuck in a storm in a town about 50 miles, I have no idea what that was, a town about 50 miles away, and I had to ride through the storm back home with no front fender. Let me tell you what, that was shit. I believe the term they've got for the water sprays, something like I forget, I can't remember what it's called now, but yes, a rooster tail, that's it. And I mean, that thing would find every damn possible spot on your visor, in your face, in your eyes, to blind you. With a spray. So I've got the fender back. Well, I had it back, I took it off again, because as I mentioned, we're going into winter now, and we are a summer rainfall area, so it won't be such a big issue. Well, I know I'm in the right road, but the last time I came to visit this friend of mine, I came from the opposite side, so that's why I'm a bit... There we go, I found it. So much for what I was about to say. Well, there we go. Grips picked up, and something that I did not expect at all is the fact that these grips that I've got now are bigger in curve, if I can call it that, Well, I suppose it is girth, isn't it? But yes, it's bigger in girth, which means that it would suit my bike better. And then the grips that are on my bike at the moment, which is going to the Sportster, they are less in girth, and which would suit a Sportster better. So, two birds, one stone. I like to think so. You will of course notice that I'm taking a different road back to what I took here, and obviously that's just to mix it up a bit, obviously. Yeah, get on. Also, while the camera was off just now, my uncle there, my friend, he was asking about the reason my front mudguard's off. So I told him the whole story about the rooster tail, like I just told you guys on the way there. Now I know it's going into winter with in our area, in the southern hemisphere at the moment, but the way the temperature just changes is ridiculous. I mean, on the way there it was actually quite hot, and now on the way back it's the air is so much cooler. Like you can actually feel the iciness. It's not that cold though, but it's cooler than it was. It's always good to speak to older people, and to give you an idea why I say older people, the friend who I just went to for the grips, he's a lot older than I am. He's probably old enough to be my father. His youngest child is 46, who is 7 years older than I am, and his oldest child is 48. So he's got some good info and some good knowledge to learn from, and that's why I like to keep a good relationship with the older people and older bikers, because at the end of the day they know stuff that I haven't even learned yet. They're starting to forget, and that's a sad thing, because at the end of the day you have to carry forward the old ways of doing things. Now I'm not saying you shouldn't use modern technology to your advantage if you need it. But what I am saying is there are ways to do things that older people have done for a lot longer than our young people have been alive. Firstly. Secondly, the other thing is they know about places to get parts that you and I may not think about, because let's face it, younger people, me included, we're the types that want things now. We want things easy. That's why we've got apps for our McDonald's, and why we've got apps for our Amazon, etc., etc. It's a generation of we want it, and we want it now. And where the old people came from, the times they grew up in, there was no quick and there was no right now. It was a case of things had to come with a slow boat from across the pond, or letters would have to be sent after licking them, and please don't lick it, because obviously that's spreading corona, as they say. But those are the times where things weren't quick and easy, and things had to be done the hard way, and dealerships were 200 miles away, or whatever the case was. So it was a case of You have to know how to do things yourself. You have to know how to use tools. And then you have to know where to find the parts. And that's one thing I just learned from him. The old ways will get old, but the old ways will never die. Guys and girls, this was a relaxing ride with a bit of a mission and a bit of philosophy thrown into the mix. Thank you for coming along. Check you guys on the flip side. Cheers.